So what I could do is start all over again. Or I could keep going. I already did 1 and -1. I could do 2 and -2, and then 4 and -4, and 5 and -5 until I found all my solutions, right? All 3 of them. But I would rather be smarter. Would you guys rather be smarter? Yes. Here's what I want to do. I want to take this and convert it back into an equation. Do you remember how to do that? If that's my remainder, what's that? My constant? My x? Very good. So this is really x squared minus 9x plus 20. Guys, is that a trinomial that you know how to factor? Oh my goodness. That's like an easy one to factor, isn't it? What two numbers multiply to be 20 and add to be -9? X minus 4, x minus 5. You okay with that? It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Those are my other two, right? Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. How many was I supposed to get? 3. But now here's what I have to do. I want to be very clear what my solutions are, and I really at this point want to be very clear about my factors. Okay? This is clearly a factor, this is clearly a factor because they're being multiplied together. Can you tell me the third factor? If this was the number that went outside of the synthetic division, what's my third factor? X plus 1. You remember that? We took the factor and set it equal to 0 to find the number that went on the outside of the synthetic division. Do you remember that or no? If you don't, that's okay. I'm reminding you now. Okay? But these are my factors. Okay? Factors look like things that are being multiplied together to give us the original equation. And in fact, if we multiplied this together, I would get this original equation. Okay? So here's the deal. If these are my factors, how do I go about finding my solution? Well, what does my original equation equal? 0. And I want you to think about this for just a second. So I'm going to ask the question, and I don't want you to answer until you have counted to 5. Everybody understand that? If I have 3 numbers, in this case, this number, and this number, and I multiply them together, and I get a 0, what has to be true about one of these numbers? One of them has to be 0. Which one? I don't know either. So we have to know that at some point all 3 of them could be 0, right? So what I do is I take each one of my factors and set it equal to 0. Now, do I need to do all the steps for you, or are we past that? Like, do I have to do this for you? Or can we look at that and say, oh, that's 4. If I have to show you the steps, I'll be happy to show you the steps. We good? Okay, so what's this one? 5. And what's this one? These are the solutions. Sometimes when you see the solutions, uh-oh, can I fix it? Yeah, you said it and I forgot to write it. Okay? Sometimes when you see the solutions, they might be written like this. Is that okay? Okay, just making sure. So you have to be careful about what it's asking you. Is it asking you to factor, or is it asking for the solutions? So really all that entails is reading the directions. So as long as you can read, you're fine. Yes, ask me. I wanted all my factors written in one place. So I have these 2 factors from factoring that trinomial that we got from that synthetic division answer. But what I used right here to get that synthetic division, because I got a 0 as my remainder, this is one of my solutions. See how it's one of my solutions down here? I just wanted to write it as a factor, so I had all my factors listed in one place. When we go from a factor to synthetic division, like we did when we talked about synthetic division the other day, I had to take this factor and set it equal to 0 to get the number that went on the outside. So if I'm going back the other way, it's the same thing. It's like x equals -1, and I want to get it as x plus or minus something, so I'd add 1 to both sides to get x plus 1. Does that make sense? Are you lying?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Any questions about that? Uh-huh. Yep. Yep. If it was -2, this factor would be x plus 2. Okay? If this one worked, if this was a 0 right here, so that told us this was a factor, what would, excuse me, a solution, what would its factor be? X minus 1. You okay with that? Okay. How about if we do another one? Will that be good? Okay. X cubed minus 10x squared plus 19x plus 30 equals 0. So what should I do first? I need to list all my possible solutions, right? So I need to do the factors of the last term divided by the factors of the first term. So what are the factors of 30? 1, 3, 2. How about 2? 3, 5 and 6, and then 10 and 15 and 30. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. 16 is still better than infinity, right? Okay. Excuse me. So now what? Where do you want to start? 1, okay. 1, -10, 19, 30. Can I show you guys something? I want you to watch this, okay? Everybody watch. 1, 1, -9, -9. I'm going to stop. Why am I going to stop? Can I tell right now that I'm not going to get a 0 right here? Can you tell right now I'm not going to get a 0? I mean, even if I think through it, that's going to be a 10. This would have to be a -3, and it's not for me to get a -30, right? So I'm just not even going to finish it. Now, if that really messes with your OCD, you just go right ahead and finish it. Okay? You know I'm all about working smarter and not harder, right? -1. 1, -10, 19, 30. 1, -1, -11, 11. Ooh. Yes. So now what? Move it back into an equation? Is that okay? So x squared minus 11x plus 30. Is that something you know how to factor? Yes. What multiplies to be 30 and adds to be -11? -6 and -5. Good job. So what is my other factor? X plus 1. Very good. And if these are my factors, how do I go about finding my solution? Set them to 0, each one of them. So x equals 6, 5. Very good. So what do you think my last example is going to be? What do you hope my last example is going to be? A hardest, right? So what do you think the first term is going to be? Not 1, right? Not 1. Okay? Nope. It's a good guess, though. Yeah, it's a good guess. Yeah. Okay. 3x cubed plus x squared minus 38x plus 24 equals 0. Now, I have to be honest, the first time I did this problem, the first thing that I looked for was to see if everything was divisible by 3. Because if I could get rid of that 3, I know it's going to be a lot easier, isn't it? But, nope. Nope. Right? Okay, so what do we do first? That's our factors, right? Okay, so factors of 24 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. Right? Did I miss one? Okay. Divided by what? Plus or minus 1 and plus or minus 3. Right? Well, just like my question before, you already know the answer. What's everything in the numerator divided by 1? Just itself, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24, right? Except now I also have to divide everything in the numerator by 3. So what's 1 divided by 3? 1/3. What's 2 divided by 3? 2/3. What's 3 divided by 3? Oh, I already have that on the list. I don't want to rewrite it. Is that okay? Okay, what about 4 divided by 3? 4/3. 6 divided by 3? 2. Okay, I already have that. 8 divided by 3? Uh-oh, I didn't plan very well. Sorry. 12 divided by 3? 4, I already have it. And 24 divided by 3? I already have it, right? 8. Okay? So, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. 24 is still better than infinity. Okay, where do you want to start? 1. Okay, 1. 3, 1, negative 38, and 24. Three, 4, 4. Negative 34 is definitely not going to give me something I need. Negative 1, 3, 1, negative 38, and 24. 3, negative 3, negative 2, 2. Uh-oh. Still nothing I need, right? Okay. 2, 3, 1, negative 38, 24. 3, 6, 7, 14, negative 24. Dang. Negative 2. What did I do? Yeah, I'd have to multiply it by 2, right? Negative 48. That's alright. That's alright. 3, 1, negative 38, 24. 3, negative 6, negative 5, 10, 28. Ugh. Okay. 3, 1, negative 38, 24. 3, 9, 10, 30, 8. Ooh. So now what? Equation, okay. What is it? Okay. Is that something we know how to factor? Okay, so AC is negative 24 and B is 10. What if I had negative 2 and 12? Would that work? Okay, so 3x squared minus 2x plus 12x minus 8. So x, 3x minus 2, 4. Can somebody get that, please? 3x minus 2. Do these two terms have a common factor? What is it? 3x minus 2. And what's left over? X plus 4. I love you. Spider. Is it a spider? Just put some on there. Just a little bit. These are two of my factors. What's my other factor? X minus 3. Right? What are these called? Those are called factors, right? So how do I find the solutions? 3x minus 2 equals 0. X plus 4 equals 0. X minus 3 equals 0. These last two are pretty simple, right? X equals negative 4. X equals 3. This one looks so hard. No, it doesn't, right? Keely's laughing at me. So I'm going to go ahead and write out some steps here just so you can see and make sure you know what I'm doing. X equals 2/3. X equals 2/3. Does that even make sense? It was, right? It was on my list, wasn't it? Would you have tried that one first? No, not at all, right? It's a fraction. Fractions are our friends. Here's my solutions. Questions? Did you handle that one okay? Now, move it up. Like here? This way? Okay, sorry. I just want you to be clear about tomorrow. Tomorrow you're going to be mad. Okay? But you know, we have to learn the math first and then we can do the shortcuts. You okay with that? Okay. I mean, you'll get over it because you'll be happy that I showed you the shortcut, right? All right, do you have any questions about this though, for real?